What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and man, I know you guys have already seen this. The new Lord of the Rings movies are set up, coming soon from Warner Brothers, okay? And of course, you guys know Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema, they were the originators, right? The Lord of the Rings trilogy, along with the Hobbits trilogy, they were the guys that put all of that out there and made, millions and billions of dollars, however much they made. And yeah, now they're going to go ahead and tap back into this particular franchise, because it's hot right now, with Rings of Power. Even though Rings of Power is absolutely trash, it's brought the attention of actual Tolkien back to the marketplace, and people are like, hey, can we see some good Tolkien now? You know what I mean? Like, okay, this Rings of Power, we know that this stuff is trash, all right? It got actually people to go back and revisit those old movies that Peter Jackson made back in, the early 2000s, so people are doing that, but now everybody's like, well, can we get some more stuff? Let us get something that's made with today's, technology and everything, but at the same time, not as trash as Rings of Power. Can we get that? Well, it looks like Warner Brothers is coming to deliver. So this is on Variety. Let's go ahead and check it out. Warner Brothers Pictures is revamping the Lords of the Rings film franchise. On a Thursday earnings call, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav announced that newly installed studio leaders Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdy have brokered a deal to make multiple films based on the beloved J.R.R. Tolkien books. The projects will be developed through Warner Brothers label New Line Cinema. The first Lord of the Rings trilogy, helmed by Peter Jackson, grossed nearly $3 billion worldwide. I didn't realize it made that much money. Jackson follow-up trilogy based on Tolkien's The Hobbit matched those grosses. No filmmakers have been attached to the projects as of yet, but in a statement to Variety, Jackson and his main Lord of the Rings collaborators Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens said Warner Brothers and Embracer have kept us in the loop every step of the way. Yeah, it looks like Warner Brothers is not going to be making the same mistake that Amazon made. I'm sure you guys remember this when Amazon basically ghosted Peter Jackson, right? Asked him to be involved with the series, said, okay, send me a few scripts and I'll tell you what I think. I'll give you my input, my opinion. And then they just cut him off completely, It's like, wait, what? Huh? What's going on here? You guys reach out to me. I'm the guy that turned this Lord of the Rings series into $1 billion movie franchise. And then you just cut me off. Yeah, all right, whatever, We look forward to speaking with them further or hear their vision for the franchise moving forward, Jackson, Walsh, and Boyens said. Free Mode is a division of Embracer, made the adaptive rights deal for the books, including Lords of the Rings and Hobbit. The pack will be billed under the name Middle-earth Enterprises. Notably, DeLuca and Abdy left MGM last year to take helm of Warner Brothers. Their exit followed the acquisition of MGM by Amazon. The tech giant owns the TV rights to Lord of the Rings and produced a single season of television at the gut-busting price of over $450 million in 2022, and it was utter trash. Following our recent acquisition of Middle-earth Enterprises, we're thrilled to embark on this new collaborative journey with New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers Pictures, bringing the incomparable world of J.R.R. Tolkien back to the big screen in new and exciting ways, said Lee Gincard, CEO of Free Mode. We understand how cherished these works are, and working together with our partners at New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers, we plan to honor the past, look to the future, and adhere to the strongest level of quality and production values, okay? And then DeLuca and Abdy recalled that New Line had previously took an unprecedented leap of faith to realize the incredible stories, characters, and worlds of the Lord of the Rings on the big screen, but for all the scope and detail lovingly packed into the two trilogies, the vast, complex, and dazzling universe dreamed up by J.R.R. Tolkien remains largely unexplored. Yeah, there's a whole lot to the Middle-earth saga, okay? There's a lot that you can do with it, but here's the question that everybody's gonna ask. And it starts with this particular phrase right here. Look to the future. What does that mean? What does that mean? We plan to honor the past, look to the future. All of that stuff is just sounding a lot like modern audience type crap, don't it? Don't it sound like it? Modern audience, look into the future. We got to make this for future generations, okay? So that's the thing that gives people a moment of pause. Now, I follow this guy on Twitter, Master of the TDS, okay? Very interesting insights. Definitely give him a follow if you have the opportunity. But he has his comment here, right? It's talking about basically the day after all of this Warner Brothers news came out about Lord of the Rings. He said, I'm seeing a lot of people getting upset about the Lord of the Rings news, but I'm not seeing where they are claiming to update it for modern audiences. In fact, they said they know people care about it, and will endeavor to do it justice. Am I missing something? Now, again, it's how you translate that one phrase, look to the future. Maybe you could translate that into modern audiences. So now I answered, Hollywood does not get the benefit of the doubt at this point, especially after what happened with Rings of Power between Disney, Amazon, and WB making Velma. They've used up all goodwill and whatever equity they had built up, guilty until proven innocent. Yeah, I think that's the way a lot of people are feeling with that. And then again, especially with that particular quote talking about looking to the future. What does that mean? What are you talking about looking to the future? What are we looking at? Okay. I mean, just adapt Lord of the Rings, adapt Tolkien's work, and that's it. That's all you got to do, okay? But you get the impression, or you get the feeling that these guys are going to start trying to do some stuff with it. We're going to see some race swaps. We're going to see a whole lot of nonsense going on, okay? That's what Amazon did. The Amazon was saying the same type of stuff. Like, all of this stuff that they saying up in here sounds exactly like what Amazon said at the very beginning, okay? So none of this stuff at all. I mean, I'm glad to hear that, Peter Jackson is involved. Hopefully that means that the quality of storytelling is elevated above the nonsense that we saw in Rings of Power. But none of this stuff makes me feel comfortable that they're going to do a good job, okay? I don't think that this necessarily proves that, oh yeah, with Peter Jackson involved, everything is A-okay. All right, this is still Hollywood that we're talking about. So now even Screen Rant is getting in on the act. Warner Brothers just destroyed the Rings of Power. Look, let's keep it real. The Rings of Power destroyed Rings of Power, okay? Bad writing destroyed the Rings of Power, all right? They didn't need any help from Warner Brothers whatsoever, okay? This thing was destroyed months and months ago, all right? But yeah, I understand where they're coming from, because basically now that Warner Brothers is working on a new Lord of the Rings movie in the near future, this news has possibly destroy the future of Rings of Power. And it says, it seems that Warner Brothers wants to take advantage of the success and fame of the Lord of the Ring franchise once again, even if this may affect the future and success of Amazon's Rings of Power. However, the studio announced its intention of making more Lord of the Rings films. In fact, not only does Warner Brothers intend on making a new Lord of the Rings movie, but it also seems to be set in a similar time frame to the much beloved Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. This could be bad news for Rings of Power. This is totally bad news for Rings of Power, okay? Because guess what? People still love those original trilogies, okay? And then even if you want to say that The Hobbit was a lesser version of Lord of the Rings, a lot of people were like, it's cool, okay? And I would love to return to that particular time frame to, go on more adventures with hobbits and with wizards and with the world of men. People want to go ahead and jump back into that particular time frame, okay? And then the nonsense that they're doing over here with Rings of Power and all of this bad overacting, okay? The sloppy writing, okay? The CGI was, decent enough, but like for the most part, man, this stuff was just hokey and crappy and terrible, all right? So here comes Warner Brothers, and they're pulling Peter Jackson out of mothballs, and they're saying, hey, Pete, come on over here with us, all right? And Pete's like, sure, why not? And now, you gotta know that Amazon is just sitting here like, God damn it, man. They're about to take all of their shine, okay? Or they should, okay? If they make a good series, Warner Brothers should take every last piece of that Rings of Power shine right away from them, okay? Them dudes didn't do crap. I mean, they just made a terrible series overall, 100%. So there's nothing that's stopping Warner Brothers from basically just snatching the rug out from under this thing and bringing it back to, what fans enjoyed. Unfortunately, the new movies will be in direct competition with Rings of Power. So what? Competition breeds success, man. You get competition. That means the Rings of Power is going to have to step their game up, okay? They can't just rest on their laurels. They're actually going to have to write, okay? And that might actually make a better series out of it. Who knows? While on the whole, The Rings of Power was favorably received by critics, it was less loved by general audiences. This is down to a few reasons, but one of them is simply that audiences didn't and likely won't care as much about the characters from the Rings of Power TV show the way they did for the characters from the Lord of the Rings movies. That's because these cats don't know how to write, okay? These clowns right here, these dudes that wrote this shit, they don't know how to write. Okay, they don't know how to write good characters. I mean, they just made a mockery of the Tolkien characters that people have grown up and loved for decades. Okay, they made a mockery of it. All right, that's the reason why people didn't like it. It had nothing to do with, well, it's the characters from the movies versus the characters from this shit. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the way you write. All right, as they said right here, we understand how cherished these works are. Okay. So if you understand how cherished these works are, you got to get to work, okay? You got to make a series that's worthy of the works. Okay, you can't just go out there and throw woke nonsense out and expect people just, oh, let me lap that up. Nobody's wanting that crap, okay? Get out of here with that shit. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with this new Lord of the Rings saga that WB is embarking on. You know, I think the one big thing that we can take away from this is that Amazon has got to be upset about this. Because they know no matter what happens out of this, that this is going to take away a little of their shine, okay? They had Middle Earth on lock. If you want to see anything from Middle Earth, you got to come to us. Now, oh, well, you know, we got these guys over here with Warner Brothers. We can probably just ignore all of this crap that, you know, Amazon was giving us. Y'all go on over there and whatever. We going to go ahead and focus with Warner Brothers, okay? I mean, that has to hurt, but we'll see what happens anyway, folks. What do you think about this situation? Are you excited? Does this give you any confidence that with Peter Jackson back in the room, that they are going to actually make something good or something interesting? You guys go ahead, jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and your opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.